Hi guys, another instalment of Danger Gang. Now we're about to start a new month, and I think we're going to find out some more exciting things that happen, maybe with a flash of green light to go with them. June. Dear Danny, I wish you could see the Danger Gang headquarters, my treehouse. It looks cooler than ever. We all meet there once a week after school to eat sweets, practice saying it's danger time. Okay, that's mostly me. And discuss any crazy new things that have happened. And yes, more things have happened since my last letter. Charlie's mum works as a newsagent at the end of my street, right next to the pet shop, and she lets Charlie have whatever he wants, so he always stops by the shop before meeting us and grabs loads of top snackage to keep our brains fueled for our chats. 4 Choco Toffee sweet chews and a tub of Nutter Crunch ice cream for me every time. Three key things that have happened since my last letter. First, Molly has learned to control when she disappears and reappears. She worked out that she can do whenever she wants just by doing this weird little twinge thing with her nose. I'm beyond jealous. Second, to balance out that awesome discovery, here's some significantly less awesome news. Ronnie Nutbolt, aka Bumface, now comes to our weekly meetings. I know. Since the food fight and him being nice to Molly, the gang took a vote and everyone else decided to give him a chance. So I had no choice. Plus, I suppose that's the right thing to do, but I've told him that he's one wrong move away from being booted out of my treehouse, and I've added an ejector seat on the top of the list things to install when I eventually get the phase 2 of my building. Third, I went to my first party here in Freaky, and it was a night I will never forget. It was Charlie Campbell's party. He lives on my street too at number 16, and he's a member of the Danger Gang. He's also crazy about dangerous animals, and he blabs on about, "When I'm older, I'm going to have a pet cobra," he says every day. "Aren't they poisonous?" asks Katie, every day. "You mean venomous," he corrects her, every day. Susie says he's been into weird and dangerous animals for as long as she's known him, and that those two were born in Freaky, so I guess that's a pretty long time. On the night of his birthday, his mum and dad were taking us to the fairground in the park, and after that we were going to his place for a sleepover. I was so looking forward to going. You know how much I love sleepovers. Remember that time I slept at your house and we ordered pizza and they accidentally delivered 2 pizzas instead of 1? They must still be the best night of my life. I love pizza. Where was I? At the fairground. It was only stopping in Freaky for one night, so everyone in town was there. By the time we arrived, the sun was setting, all the neon lights were on, and the air smelled so good I could have had it for dinner. Actually, I did have it for dinner. We ate candy floss, roasted caramel nuts, triple fudge donuts, hot dogs, lollipops, and I had a toffee apple just to make sure I got one of my 5 a day. Everyone wanted to go on the ghost train, but I said I'd really already been on the ghost train last year when the fair came to my old town and that I was just being boring to ride it again. But Ronnie Nutbolt said I was just scared and that I would probably pee in my pants with fright on the ride, so I went on it to prove I wasn't afraid. I didn't pee my pants, but I did spill my slush over my trousers, though it looked like I did, but I didn't. I wasn't even scared. You know how brave I am. I dried off my slushy wet trousers by riding the teacups, and Ronnie Nutbolt spun us around so fast it made Jamelia puke. Mr. and Mrs. Campbell said we needed to calm down before we went back to Charlie's house, so they bought us all freshly popped sweet and salty popcorn out of one of those big machines that smell awesome. And then we went on the Ferris wheel, which turned out to be pretty cool because you could see you could see our houses from the top. On the way to his house, Charlie revealed lots of big plans for a sleepover. I'm going to ask Molly to turn invisible, and then she can secretly throw a cup of water on Eric to transform him into a shark, and we can see if he uses his heightened shark senses to track her down, he whispered excitedly. My heart sank. That sounded so epic. I mean, it's not very often that you get to have a sleepover with an invisible friend and a shark. But my inner super spy instincts knew that I had made this dreams vanish quicker than Molly in a maths test, and when we got to Charlie's house I broke the news that the sleepover was to remain a shark-free zone. Why? He asked. Eric turned into a shark, Molly turned invisible. We have to keep those things top secret. You of all people should know that. What's Zach Danger Gang number rule about secrets? I asked, knowing full well that any true Zach Danger fan would know. Secrets aren't secrets if you don't keep them a secret, he sighed, quoting Zach Danger and the Secret Traitor word for word. Exactly. We need to keep this information to ourselves. Just the danger gang, so no liquids are to be consumed around Eric tonight, and Molly needs to promise to stay visible the whole time, I said. As if my new rules for Charlie's sleepover weren't bad enough, the moment we stepped into Charlie's house, Mr. and Mrs. Campbell handed out a sheet of their own sleepover rules that they had been laminated in plastic to make them indestructible, which is a terrible way to start any party. No TV, no rock, rap, dance music, only pop. No jumping on the sofa bed or each other. Someone should tell grown-ups that decorating rules in glittery stars doesn't make them any less lame. Once Mr. and Mrs. Campbell had disappeared into the kitchen, I quickly scribbled down my own danger gang rules at the bottom. No drinking water around Eric and no turning invisible. I then explained the whole secrets aren't secrets unless we keep them secret thing, and we all made a danger gang promise. A few minutes later, we were sitting on Charlie's living room floor playing Pass the Parcel like a bunch of 5-year-olds, listening to some music by some ancient band that the grown-ups seemed to like that I'd never heard of. There was a huge sigh of relief when Charlie's dad yelled present time. Now here's the thing. Remember I told you that Charlie was animal mad? Well, for almost as long as the Danger Gang has existed, Charlie had been banging on about getting a pet for his birthday. But we don't know what it is. It's been a surprise. So we've all been guessing. A venomous snake, a scary Rottweiler, a monkey, a bird-eating spider, an alligator, or maybe 2 alligators. Okay, some of our guesses were a little bit out there, but it was Charlie and he was obsessed with those kind of stingy, bitey, deadly animals. So it was pretty exciting when we waited to see what super awesome animal Charlie was going to be getting for his birthday. The first boxes to be contained had the usual stuff, pyjamas, a new lunchbox. To be honest, it was a total snore fest until his dad brought out the tiniest present, the final present. Charlie's dad carried his last present in a special box with holes on the top, and we all knew it could only mean one thing. There was something alive inside. Charlie tore open the box with an enormous smile on his face. Was it a deadly venomous snake, the world's most stingiest jellyfish, a baby alligator that he could train to bite his enemies in the playground? Charlie reached inside, and we all stepped back as he pulled out the fluffiest furball that any of us had ever seen. A hamster. It was a total letdown. All those precious minutes we'd spent imagining our friends owned some sort of awesome creatures from the jungle, but it was just a ball of fur from Freaky Pets, the pet shop at the end of the road. On the other hand, it was at least 4 times fluffier than a regular hamster, and it had bright green eyes. What kind of hamster is this, Mr. Campbell? I'd never seen one like it, asked Katie, who knew loads about hamsters because she had 2 of her own. Well, the man at the pet shop wasn't quite sure himself. You see, these hamsters just appeared in the shop the other month, as if by magic. He had no clue where they come from, Mr. Campbell explained. What, you mean he didn't know one of his hamsters was pregnant and had hamster babies in the night? Katie asked. No, it's the strangest story. He told me that he sold all his hamsters that day and the cages were empty when he locked up in the evening. There was a big lightning storm later, so he came in too early to check on the animals, and when he opened up he found the cages full of the fluffy little things. Well, I bet you're thinking that my heart pounded in my chest when he mentioned the lightning storm, and you're right. And I could hear my friends' hearts too. Could the hamster have appeared because of that storm? What are you going to call him? Mrs. Campbell asked. Charlie didn't know. I have an idea. Let's each write a name on a piece of paper and fold it in half, and then we can pull your hamster name out of the hat, said Mrs. Campbell. We scribbled down our ideas. My hamster will officially be known as, Charlie said, as he pulled out a name, the one that I'd written. Gangster the hamster, Charlie announced. Everyone laughed and said what a cool name that was. Gangster isn't a real name, Charlie. You have to choose a proper name from the bowl, Mr. Party Poop and Campbell said. So Charlie chose again. My hamster's name is Mr. Fluffles. Charlie read out, and this time his parents looked relieved. Mr. Fluffles isn't a real name either, I argued. Charlie can call his hamster whatever he likes. Charlie let Mr. Fluffles run around on the floor for a bit and we watched. He was cute but pretty boring. He didn't really do anything. So Ronnie flicked a piece of leftover popcorn from the fairground towards him and we watched the hamster store it in his little cheek pouch. That was about as exciting as Mr. Fluffles got. I'm sure things will get a little bit more interesting at the rest of the chapter, but you're going to have to wait for another video for that one. I hope you guys are all staying safe and we get to see each other really soon. Bye.